I chose Blade Runner as the topic of this video because it really set the standard for the future of sci-fi films. Obviously, Philip K. Dick was one of the fathers of modern sci-fi. The list of books he wrote that were made into iconic movies is long and full of big stars. Blade Runner twice, Total Recall twice, Minority Report with Tom Cruise, Paycheck with Ben Affleck, the list goes on. There's no denying that his creativity made him an important figure in modern sci-fi. But the genius of the film adaptation actually blazed a trail for generations of sci-fi and other films. First, look at the cinematography. The post-apocalyptic vibe was created with the use of dark colors, shadows, concrete buildings, and constant rain. When you put these things together, you get a blueprint that has been followed in dozens of other films in the genre. The Alien movie franchise is a good example of this. And the Star Wars franchise is full of similar images that has a similar vibe. The series Andor is the most recent example in this. Successfully combining different genres was another trailblazing move. Earlier sci-fi, like Star Trek or 2001 Space Odyssey, took itself very seriously. Blade Runner was adapted in a way that combined the dark seriousness of film noir and combined it with the violence and over-the-top hero themes of action movies. Let's look at the scene where Deckard retires Zora. On the surface, it's an action sequence. Deckard is chasing her through the cluttered streets and eventually guns her down in a very violent, glass-shattering climax. But cinematically, there is so much more to the scene. Look at the atmosphere. The neon signs reflect off the rain-slicked streets. There's smoke, shadows, chaos, and a sensory overload. Zora crashes through layers of plate glass as she is struck with a bullet, and yet the moment feels strangely intimate. After she falls, the camera lingers on her body, not just as a target of Deckard's, but as a being that was alive and now isn't. Zora's death is not just simply an action beat. It's a tragic moment in the film that makes us think, what makes someone human? This unlikely combination was very successful, and it is a trend in modern films to use this idea, even outside the sci-fi genre. Movies like Pulp Fiction, where gritty noir storytelling meets campy humor and stylized violence and creates a unique story.
What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you. Say what one more time.
Or Deadpool, which takes the ingredients of a superhero action and spices it up with over-the-top gore and fourth-wall-breaking comedy.
Did I leave the stove on?
Then there's Sin City, which fuses noir, graphic novel aesthetics, and more violence to build a visually distinct climate. Overall, these are some examples of popular movies that merged unusual genres together. I'm not saying that Blade Runner specifically influenced all of the multiple genre movies that came after, but it was one of the first popular movies to do it. So at a minimum, it was ahead of its time. Finally, the actual plot of the film. Yes, Philip K. Dick is mostly responsible for this, but the way it is brought to life in the film made an impression. The core theme, man creates technology, technology turns against man, and man is forced to confront or destroy his own creation, is a theme that has been done over and over for the past 40 or so years since Blade Runner was released. You see it in movies like I, Robot, where machines that were designed to be the protectors of humanity become a threat. You see it in Terminator, where AI launches a war against mankind. You even see it in the most recent Tom Cruise Mission Impossible film, Dead Reckoning, where the main conflict is a rogue, out-of-control artificial intelligence. All of these movies are based around this singular idea, that our own creations may one day evolve beyond our control, and that we might not be ready to face them. Side note, sci-fi writers have been telling us for decades that creating superpowered artificial intelligence is a terrible idea. Why aren't we listening to them? Of course, Blade Runner was so well done that not only is the original still considered an all-time classic, but a new rebooted version came out in 2017, almost 40 years after the original. That goes to show the relevance maybe more than anything else could. Decades later, filmmakers are still borrowing from its visual and thematic playbook. The thing that makes a film like Blade Runner a timeless classic isn't just its style, but its substance. It asks the audience complex questions about identity, humanity, and what separates man from machine. The Blade Runner film really set the standard for sci-fi films that came after, and it will always be an iconic example of revolutionary filmmaking.
All those moments will be lost in time, like tears.